The most important mindset of starting an online business is to view failures as setbacks to learn from. School didn't teach you this, so class is now in session, and this is a new mindset that you must drill in. Otherwise, there's almost no point in even watching the rest of this video. There's no point thinking about online income, thinking about business, if you view failures how school has conditioned you to view failures. Failures, rejections are fantastic. That is a sign of success. In terms of online businesses, you will fail. You will fail many different online businesses. You'll start a YouTube channel and you'll quit. You'll start dropshipping and you'll quit. You'll start anything and you'll quit. That's a good thing. If you start one of these things and it doesn't go to plan and you're like, oh, it didn't even work. I didn't even get successful from my first business. You can't even make money from businesses. I'm going to stick to my job. Stick to your job from the first place. If you make one of these businesses, it gets no sales and you're like, okay, that one wasn't for me, but I learned something from it, on to the next, then congratulations, I actually think you're going to be successful in life. Remember that education is power, and the success of any type of business is limited to the level of education you currently have. Expand your education means expand your profits. We haven't really learned anything about this stuff in school, so I'm going to have to rechange your mind about some things. One of the most important mentalities, first of all, is to put the offer in front of people. This is very important, and it's the part of the business that most people just lack in. School didn't teach you to take action, and so most people still have that same mentality of waiting until the conditions are right. They've got to do the logo first, they've got to change the font first, and all this bullshit that doesn't really matter. Start with the offer and put it in front of someone. An example I can give you is I have one student who I'm coaching. He told me that he spent a decent amount of time researching cold calling. He'd looked for videos on YouTube, on Reddit, and he said to me that he didn't really find anything, and so he asked me if there was any kind of educational material he could learn from. I said to him, you want to know the best way to learn how to cold call? Start cold calling. Put the offer in front of someone. No matter how much learning you do, no matter how much of the requirements you build up first, you're still going to have that initial period where you put the offer in front of someone and you fail like 20 times before you get a sale. So why not start that now? Don't make the product first, try to sell the product first. Don't learn so much about cold calling and about the business that you're trying to sell. Try to sell it first. This is very important. Start with the offer first. I think me saying this right now won't do it any justice. The video that drilled this mentality into me, I will link it as link 1 in the description. This leads us to the next mentality. Focus on the value that you can provide, not the money that you want. Focusing on the money is a very American capitalistic idea, and it's what stresses most people out. Their goal is to make X amount of money. That's a pretty shitty goal, and you should only use it for like a bit of fun. The better goal should be on providing as much value as possible. So we mentioned before, value is just anything that you give to the market who will exchange it for money. So the value I'm providing right now is education. So my goal isn't thinking, okay, I really hope this video gets 400 views. No. My goal is to hopefully give as much value as possible so that maybe 5 people watching this video will go and attempt to start their online business. If they start it, I know for a fact that they'll become loyal subscribers of mine. That is the success. The value you can provide is so much more important than the money you want, because the value determines the money you can get. Focus on increasing the amount of value you can, and mostly that is through education. Seriously, you must be investing in your own self-learning. You watching this video right now is a form of learning. Well done. Continue that. If you're, for example, trying to do something like me, YouTube videos about self-improvement, go and learn more about self-improvement. And I'm not talking about like the bullshit, like, oh, let me go and watch a few YouTube videos. No, I'm talking about go and do some course online and then teach people what you've learned in this course. Do the Science of Wellbeing course, learn that education, and then teach people about mental health. That is investing in your self-learning, and that means that the value you now give is greater. When the value you give is greater, the amount of money you get is bigger. There's a few types of very common businesses that young people are getting into. It's like content creation on YouTube, on TikTok, social media marketing, dropshipping, SEO, coding, animating, graphic design. In my opinion, the best online business definitely includes content creation, essentially being some kind of persona online on YouTube, on social media. Why? Because that sets you up to do anything else. When you build up an online audience of true fans by giving them some value, as I'm doing right now, you get a certain amount of people who will then go and buy anything you go and produce. That's very powerful. This is our generation's secret trick to wealth, which means that every single wealth related book is kind of outdated. Most of them state the golden rule of business to make money is to not follow your passion, because no one cares about your passion. That's all outdated now. People actually really care about your passion because you're not very special. Your passion is also a million other people's passion. And so if you're making a YouTube video on self-improvement, a million other people actually care about self-improvement. So my passion is probably your passion. And that means that you're going to be tuning in to me doing something that I'm passionate about. I make money from something that I genuinely care about, and you get the value for something that you're passionate about. So YouTube, social media is all based on your online audience size. The most important thing, the most important piece of educational material to read is the 1000 True Fans article. That's going to be linked to in the description. Put simply, you don't need millions of subscribers to make a fantastic living. You need at most 1000 true fans. And a true fan is not just a subscriber. A true fan is someone whose life you have changed with the value that you put out. So again, there should be major motivation to think about the value you provide. Now, the important point is that you likely won't get rich from this. You likely won't get rich from your passionate project on YouTube, making some kind of niche products and services, but that's okay. Most of us young people actually don't really think of getting very wealthy. We don't think of getting like insanely rich. Most of us are educated enough to understand that money isn't the top goal. That's just what capitalism has drilled into us from birth. That's not the goal. Money is just freedom points. And we as a young generation, which I'm so proud of, understand that online income is actually the shortcut to freedom. That if you're making a reasonable amount in online income, let's say $1,000 to $2,000 a month, you can actually have an insane level of freedom from that compared to making $200,000, $500,000 a year in some kind of business, but you have to work 60 to 80 hours a week in that business. We understand as a generation that freedom, free time, and health and livelihood is more important than just a big amount of money, because the big amount of money is spent on getting the freedom, the free time, and the livelihood. So this is the point where most YouTubers will say, okay, now think about which business you want to do. I disagree with that. Right now, make a list of maybe 10 to 20 and now start doing all of them. Choose one, do it, knowing that you're going to do it for a couple of weeks, a couple of months, and then you're going to move on to the next one when that first one fails. Do that 10, 20 times, and by the 20th time, you will have one that's making you probably about $1,000 a month. It's very important to change your mindset from quality to quantity. Yes, I'm the first person who's ever told you that quantity is more important. It truly is. The very important thing that's going to hurt your ego is that you're going to be trash at everything that you make right now. So it's better to make more, to try different things, to know which one actually seems somewhat enjoyable, with the type of business that you could imagine sticking to for years. It's the amount of businesses that you've actually tried, that you've put in some decent effort to make work. Look at any successful businessman's history and you'll find that they actually failed 20, 30, 40 businesses before they got one that was profitable. You literally think of a business and you start working on that business the same day that you think about it. To be successful in business, you have to take action. If you procrastinate due to laziness and say things like, I'm gonna wait because I don't feel fit enough to make a fitness YouTube channel, you're an idiot. Just like I was. I waited 3 years to start my fitness YouTube channel because quality is more important, right? Didn't make any videos, didn't do any progress in this business. Wasted time, wasted potential. And it felt like I was being productive because in my mind, I always thought, oh, I will be a fitness YouTuber. You won't. You have to take the action to do that. And if you're waiting to take action to get some kind of requirements, you're doing it wrong. You don't need any requirement to start any of these. You start them immediately and just do the best that you can. Another mentality to think about is stress and mental health. If making this online business is stressing you out, it's kind of annoying you, then you need to stop. You need to stop straight away and focus on self-care instead. This business that you make, the process of it, the problems that arise from it, should be seen with gratitude. It should be quite exciting to fix the problems that arise from the business that you choose. Everything that you do will encounter problems. So the point of trying so many different businesses is to eventually find the business which the problems that arise from that business are the ones that you actually enjoy solving. But if you find that you don't enjoy solving any problems and that the stress of thinking about which YouTube video to make, the stress of signing up to TikTok, the stress of like making a website for your product or whatever. If that feels really stressful, feels really negative, then it most likely isn't exactly the business. It's actually that your mental health is quite bad at the moment. Mental health is extremely important in this. Put it this way, if you had fantastic mental health, you felt happy, fulfilled, productive, you were proud of your achievements, would it be hard for you to make a business? Probably not. You'd probably enjoy it. What if you have really bad mental health? What if you've got major depression, major anxiety, high levels of stress? Would it be easy to make a business? No, it might literally be impossible. Your mental health determines how much work you can do. If your mental health is even mild to moderately negative, your work capability, your cognitive function is drastically limited. So it's a very good idea to be investing in your self-care, improving your mental health. I'll have like the little playlist or whatever. I'll have something on screen right now. Definitely worth investing in mental health. Your productivity will go up, the progress you make in your business will go up, and your life all around just gets better. If you feel like you're experiencing some depressive symptoms, I'll link the morning routine that got me out of depression on screen. Click on it right now. Finally, the last mentality to think about is the goal of this venture, the point of making this business. So you have to take a minute and really think, what is it that you want from this? It has to be more than money. For me, it was to escape depression. It was to escape the normal life of working a 9-to-5 job. I worked a 9-to-5 job for about 2 months and I cried almost every day when I walked home. Seriously, I cried almost every day. So this was my motivation for me. It was to escape that life. It was so I didn't have to go and commute in public transport at 5:30 a.m. It's so I didn't have to come home at 6 p.m. That was my motivation. That's what has caused me to stay on this grind for so long. If yours is, I want to make money, then I don't believe you'll stay on this for so long. It's got to be more than money. And that actually brings us to the next part, which is the rewards of business. What do you get for pursuing a business instead of the conventional 9-to-5 life? The first most important thing is freedom. The online income methods that we're all thinking about pretty much are the ones that you can do on your laptop, making some videos, doing some coding, making a website. It's stuff that is self-employment. It means that you are in charge. Be your own boss. This means that you're location independent. Most jobs are not location independent. You spend about an hour or two every single day getting ready for work, commuting backwards. You don't have to do that with most of these businesses. You just have to get to your computer. It takes 5 seconds. That means that you can take your laptop and go on holiday and go on some extended travel period while still making like the video, the content, the website, any type of stuff, anywhere you are. You are location independent. The only thing you're dependent on is the internet, and the internet's everywhere now. One of the best rewards of the business, of the modern day business that we're talking about, is making a living from your passion. It is actually realistic to make a living from your passion. You can make a living from dancing on TikTok, from writing, from anything now, which is insane. Choose your passion, choose the hobby that you love, and you can make a living from that. There's so many guys who love weightlifting and getting aesthetic, and really the one career for them was going to be like personal trainer. That was it. And now you can literally make a living from your body, from the experience you have in the gym, by being a fitness YouTuber. That's fantastic. Another reward of the business is that it's low cost and it's minimal. You don't need the type of lifestyle that you would require by going to the job. Because you're location independent, that also means you can live in cheaper places. Right now, I'm 23 years old and I'm living with parents. That means that my monthly expenses are about £150 a month. When I was living in the city, my monthly expenses were about £1,000. Now, it could have been reduced, but when you're working a full-time job that gives you like depression, you experience lifestyle inflation. You spend more money because you just don't really like your life. So when you're making money, you spend more money. So having an online business means that you just save a lot more money than normal. My expenses in terms of the business are very, very low because I don't really need much to do YouTube. My office is just my computer desk. My workplace is just my dining room with this little ring light that cost me like £9. My laptop that plugs into it and has the script here. The tripod cost me a few pounds on my phone. It's very, very minimal. I could do this anywhere. Now, if you've watched my videos before, you understand that I am a self-improvement coach. Now we're going to talk about how starting a business relates to self-improvement. Starting a business is choosing to chase discomfort. You don't have to do this. The comfortable thing right now is to stay in the full-time job. It's to keep searching for the full-time jobs because it's all been set up for you. You just apply for the job, you go to the interview, you get the job, and then you get told what to do. And like a good trained little monkey, you go in and do the same things every day. That's comfortable, even though it's not comfortable at all for most people. It's way more comfortable than being sat there and actually having to use your brain and think, okay, business, what kind of business can I like even try? Like, oh wait, so okay, I want to try this business, I want to try and be a YouTuber. How the fuck how do you be a YouTuber? How do you like edit videos? I need to go and research how to like edit videos. What software should I use? Wait, can I download this software for Windows 10? Like, how do you do it? Wait, it's not even free. It's like £300 for this video. And making any type of business is harder. It means that you're chasing discomfort over the instant gratification. This really is just delayed gratification, what we're doing here. We're doing uncomfortable work that just feels like it's frying our brain a little bit every day so that we have a longer term reward in the future. They're heavily tied with self-improvement because all of self-improvement is just delaying gratification. Not choosing the thing that gives you the instant pleasure today so that in a month from now, your life is slightly better. I think a fantastic part about business relating to self-improvement is it just gives you something to do. Most people, when I speak to them about self-improvement, the most common excuse is, oh, I can't think of anything else to do. They've been to work, they've been to school, they've done some exercise, and that's about it. That's all there is to do. And making a business then gives you something to spend a few hours on every day. And it gives you something that you can make progress in. That's so cool, that's so fun. It's something to do other than Netflix and video games. And that's something to be so grateful about. That heavily ties with self-improvement because one of the reasons why most people watch Netflix and play video games, even though they don't really enjoy it so much, is because they don't have anything to do. Well, start a business and now you do have something to do. The 9 to 5 does have some benefits over a business. It's more straightforward. It's less thinking. You're just an employee. And so you've been given a task like, okay, answer these calls and say this. That can be a good thing for most people who just don't want to work hard. But if you're in the self-improvement, you'd rather do the harder thing because you know that the harder thing leads to better rewards. A lot of people prefer to have managers. Now, a lot of people don't. And if you're into self-improvement again, you'd probably rather be your own boss. But some people prefer it because leadership isn't for everyone. And so if you feel like a leader naturally, then business would be more for you, or a manager position. Most people are just employee personalities anyway. So most people are comfortable with having a daddy. I'm not. And if you're in the self-improvement, you're usually not too. Having co-workers is usually quite nice because you have like some, would you call it friends? It's just some pleasant conversations. They're not really real friends. They're just pleasant conversations that you have whilst you go to work. That can be quite nice because a business is far more lonely. You've heard it so much that it's lonelier in business, and it's absolutely true because you are a one-man army. And of course you can network, you can speak to other people, but there's a lot less people to relate to talk to when you're working by yourself. Finally, 9 to 5 is a little bit easier because they do things like your taxes for you. It's just set up. You get your wage and the taxes and stuff has already been set. You have to kind of file that stuff by yourself, but a dumbass like me can do it. So it's not really hard. You just watch a YouTube tutorial. The online business that's making me the most money right now is self-improvement coaching. And that's definitely benefited from putting the offer out there. So that's an important point that we covered earlier. Self-improvement coaching. Now, if you're interested in doing what I do to coach other people, if maybe you've got your own YouTube channel or you've got somewhat of an audience and you believe that you've got what it takes to influence a positive behavior change in people, I've wrote a handbook on becoming a self-improvement coach, the exact process of getting your first client in just 2 weeks. If you get your first client in 2 weeks, the book just pays for itself. I would really suggest it. I'm making now about £500 a month from self-improvement coaching, which is insane. I'm literally making online income finally and consistently. And it's probably the most fulfilling thing that I do in my day is the coaching calls. So if you want to experience the same thing, then 100% I recommend it. Get into self-improvement coaching. There's many people who are looking for one-to-one help. So if you want this to be your online business, then go to the description, look at my little ebook I wrote. Now, if you want my one-to-one help with that coaching, if you want me to be your coach, you want to improve your life, reach your goals faster, then the self-improvement coaching link will also be in the description, and we'll do one-to-one video calls. I'll help you with everything. We'll set up your goals. We'll get you making some major progress in life. Take care.